or welcome back. My name is Joanne. In today's video, I am going to be talking about all of the spring palettes in my collection. I did film this look. It is my St. Patty's Day look that is up on my channel. I will have that linked in the description box if you're interested in checking that out. I will also have all the makeup I'm wearing linked in the description box as well if you're interested to see anything that I am wearing today. I really like how this eye look turned out, actually. Me, springtime is like lighter muted colors, right? So not grungy, not what I'm wearing right now. Not grungy, not super bright like in the summertime. And if you did watch, and everyone's interpretation of different seasonal makeup is different, right? Everyone's opinions are different. And of course, you can wear whatever color you want, whenever you want. If you want to wear like a bright neon pink or green in the winter, go for it. Do what you want to do with your makeup. It's just fun to see what palettes you have that correlate to seasons, and I don't know, it just really inspires me to be like, oh, I should bring that palette out to use. Oh, I should bring that one out to use. Like, that's just how my brain works. I have 12 palettes to talk to you about. Big old stack here. And let's just get right into it. I'm not gonna go in any particular order, but first is Bella Beauté Bar Pastel Garden. If you've seen this palette, yeah, it's springtime. But this is what it looks like. It's literally just a pastel palette. So this has 36 shades, mattes and shimmers, and I mean, these are what I would say springtime. Light tones, very pretty shimmers. I love Bella Beauté Bar shimmers. And yeah, I really like this palette. Yes, pastels require more building because they are lighter pigment. But I love these. They're so fun. And I do really like all the variety in here. Do I think it could have been cut down? Yes. But also, I don't mind it. Is it a big palette? Yes. It's ginormous. I mean, there's 36 pans in here. But I think they might bring this back for the springtime. They normally do like every spring just because that's when pastels get sold. But yeah, I really like this. They changed the color of the packaging though, because I saw Brittany Ray, she bought it, I think it was last year, and they changed it to blue, and I love blue, but like I love this color. Perfect for a spring palette. Next, I have the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. First of all, this packaging is so pretty, minus the fact that it feels like cheap plastic, but like the holographicness of it is just very pretty. And this is what it looks like. It's very much like lighter pinky tones, very springtime. I mean, obviously this is a spring palettes video, but just the lighter tones really made me think of this, and the shimmer shades, like especially like Moon Magic and Blissful. They're so pretty. I do really like this. I really like Huda's formula. It reminds me of ABH, where they're powdery, pigmented, but very, very blendable. Very beginner friendly, I would say. This just reminds me of spring in a palette. Next is Gourmand Girls Nightshade. I did just talk about this in my favorite palettes video. This is what that one looks like. And I'm focusing more on like this half of the palette where like it's like the lighter shades, but like they're not so bright where it's like summery type of colorful shades, bright shades. These dark shades don't really call out spring to me, but like Belladonna, Dream Shade, Nightshade, Flowering, like literally probably like these 8 shades. Really springtime and just poppy, light, fun, very pretty palette. And if you didn't watch that video, this palette is pigmented and blendable and just amazing. I love it. Next is this palette from Melt Cosmetics. This was a part of their Bad Side Zodiac collection, and this is the Air one. And this color story, it's so pretty. I think this is my favorite palette out of the 4 that they released, because I do own all of them. Of course I do. But yeah, this is just so pretty, and like, again, like these peachy pinks and like this purple and like these lighter shimmers really remind me of spring. Just the light poppy, like blooming flowers type of color. So pretty. I mean, I will say Melt doesn't have my favorite formula ever, but it's just such a pretty color story. So pretty and very spring-like. Next is the Sugar Drizzle Sugar Dreams palette. This is what that one looks like. This is an all shimmer palette, obviously. These are duochromes, and they're so pretty. I chose this as a spring palette because they're lighter shimmer shades, which is what I tend to prefer. Like light to mid-tone shimmer shades are what I like to wear on my eyes. But yeah, just the light, almost pastel-like shades. Very pretty. Next is a palette that you can no longer get, but it's the ColourPop Lizzie McGuire What Dreams Are Made Of palette. I was a huge Disney kid, so I love Lizzie McGuire. But this is what that one looks like. And again, the lighter, like poppy, colorful tones, but like muted. Just very pretty. I will say ColourPop, not my favorite formula. The mattes are nice. I mean, I don't know if like the mattes, they blend nicely. They need building. The shimmers, I prefer a sparkly shimmer, and these aren't really sparkly. They're more like satins over mattes. And yeah, I mean, Outfit Remember is really pretty. I use, what is this one? Bye-Bye on my inner corner a lot. Just like the light type of colorful muted shades are my favorite. Next is another ColourPop palette. It's the Just Like Magics palette in collaboration with the Winx Club. Again, childhood. Childhood is what got me to buy these palettes, because I wasn't initially gonna buy this, but then I was like, Winx Club, and I saw it in Ulta and I was like, I have to. But this is what it looks like. Again, another pastel palette, light shimmers, light mattes. It has like a couple like mid-tone mattes, but they're not so deep to where I feel like it takes away the springness of this palette. If that's even a word. Is springness a word? I just made it a word. But yeah, just the light tones. These are interesting. I've used a few of these shades, and they require a lot of building, especially Solaria and like Linfia. They require a lot of building. They're very light. They're not very pigmented at all. I prefer the Bella Beauté Bar pastels over this 100%, but I only keep it because it's the Winx Club. I have to. Next is an all matte palette, and it is the Shroud Cosmetics Creepy Cute palette, but this is the palette. It's just pastels with a black and a gray. I mean, pastels equals spring. Light. I haven't really used this one much, actually. I've used my It's Freaking Bats palette a lot more than this palette. But, and what I can say, I don't know about, so what I'm about to say isn't necessarily about this palette, it's just about their formula in general that I found. They're more of a drier formula that requires more time to work with, which I don't mind. It's not my favorite thing ever, but I just thought I would include this as a little matte mini pastel palette. Next is another pastel palette. It's the Beige Cosmetics Lost in Los Angeles palette. And you can no longer get this either, I think. I'm not sure. I don't know. I got this from TJ Maxx. when they were going out of business. But I think, no, I did not get this from TJ Maxx. I got this when they were still a brand. Okay, Joanne, you've had this for a while. But this is what it looks like. It's very pretty. Again, pastels, light shades. I will say about this, one thing I will say about this palette is that the shimmers are darker than the mattes. And there isn't really like a deeper matte that goes with the shimmers. So that's one thing I don't like about this palette. The shimmers are really pretty. I do really like them. I love Rush Hour and Rodeo Drive. My two favorite shimmers. And then the quality is really nice. They're actually decently pigmented and very blendable. And you know, that's the type of matte formula that I like. This is actually one of the palettes that I want to pull in right now. And I think I'm going to use. Because it's just so cute. And I really want to get more use out of this. Next is my Cosmic Beauty Muse palette. So remember how I said grungy tones aren't really springtime? I don't know, this has grungy tones to it, but it gives me spring vibes. I think it's the pinks and like the tealy greens that really bring in the spring vibes for me. I don't know, just something about this is like, ooh, spring. But I can also see this being a fall palette because of the deeper shades. You know, I was actually debating if I want to put this in or not because of the deeper shades, but just the color story overall really reminds me of spring. I think it's just like flowers in general from the pink and the green. Yeah. So this isn't really like a light type of palette. It is muted. But I think it's more of a color story thing with this. I mean, these are all color story things. So I don't know what it is about this. Because there are deeper shades. But, because for me, I wear makeup whenever I want. I'll do a smoky eye in the summer if I really want to. I'll do a bright, colorful look in the winter if I really want to. This just gives me spring vibes. I don't know what it is. I think it's just flowers and how they are. Next is the Glaminatrix Cosmetics Rich Romantic palette. This is what it looks like. And I mean, of course, this is going to be in the spring video. These purples, this coral, the pinks, and the shimmers all scream spring. They're just like that light, poppy, muted type of shade that I love for the spring. Very, very spring-like. I love Glaminatrix so much. They're one of my favorite brands. They're mattes. I need to stop saying this because there's a reason they're my favorite brand. Their mattes are pigmented and blendable, and these shimmers, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But if you don't like multi-chromes, these aren't for you because they're multi-chromes. I like them. What can I say? Even the packaging is very spring-like with like the metallic, like rose gold pink type of packaging. And my last palette is an all shimmer palette. It's the Adept Cosmetics Seahorse palette that came out last year, I believe. I'm sorry for the reflective packaging, but this is what it looks like. It's really just full of multi-chromes. And the reason why these remind me of spring, because they're lighter shimmers. They're more like iridescent type of shimmers. And I mean, that's what I think of when I think of spring. Like light, iridescent, topper almost like shimmers on the eyes. And like the colors aren't deep. At most they go like mid-tone. So, and the packaging is just so cute. But yeah, light type of shimmers and very much springtime. Those are all the palettes I have to talk about for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know some of your spring palettes that you have in your collection. I would love to know. And with all that being said, I hope you have a great day, a great night, whatever time it is for you. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.